Hey guys, Stem Cell here. Um, so I want to do a video on lefties and kind of what they're saying, and we're gonna see some of their protests with ICE videos. I got some real good eye candy for you guys to watch, and I'm gonna start. Um, We've all seen protests, signs on the streets, chants on social media, and passionate calls for justice. Many of these voices come from the left-wing side of the political spectrum. But how effective are these messages? Are they moving the needle? Are they just in the same echo chamber? Um, I Yeah, let's just get started. So, I'll start out by saying that nobody has a right to violence. Everybody has a right to defend themselves. Nobody has a right to violence, though. But let's go ahead and watch this video.
Have a right to violence. All oppressed people have a right to violence. And I'm going to tell you something. It's like the right to pee. You got to have the right place. You got to have the right time. You got to have the appropriate situation. And I'm absolutely convinced that this is it. Have a right.
I don't know how people nowadays, like, you could argue in the civil rights time, that was almost, what, 30, like 55 years ago, that maybe, they didn't have as many opportunities. I would say that, like, you can go to college for free. You can get special jobs. Like, DI is racist laws, and it's racist against anybody that isn't a minority. And I think that our society should be based on merit, your actions, what you do, how much you work, how hard you work, and not on who you are. Like, can you imagine working your butt off, but somebody keeps getting promoted in front of you, even though they're the laziest person there and they don't do anything? I mean, I've had multiple places where I just didn't have the right last name, and people would move ahead of me, start there. Like, I worked at one place where it was a very tight knit, and the owners had the same last name as a lot of the people, and those people with the last name would always end up being the bosses, even though they didn't know what the heck they were doing, and you would literally have to tell them what they're doing. And so I think life should be based on merit, in other words, and not your special laws that just help you. So, taking on the protest against ICE, Immigration and Custom Enforcement. Videos have circulated online showing activists confronting officers, blocking vehicles, and occupying facilities. Their message: abolish ICE. The passion is real, and I get it. There have been real concerns about how immigration has been handled, especially under the past administration. Families separated, children detained. That's not something we should ever accept quietly. But here, where I think the left messaging sometimes falter. What comes after ICE? And I'm also going to ask you guys to answer this question in the comments, and also like and subscribe so I can continue making videos for you guys. It's easy to rally around what you're against, but voters, especially independents, want to know what you're for. What's the replacement? What is the plan for border security, visa enforcement, immigration reform? If lefties want credibility on this issue, they need to shift from slogans to solutions. And that is a great question. Like, if you get rid of ICE, What, like, are we just gonna have an open border and like terrorists can come in and bomb New York with like nothing to stop them? Or are we just gonna let every cartel into our country so they can sell drugs and kill people with fentanyl? It doesn't really make any sense. So let's see what the lefties have been doing at the ice places. Here we go. Let's turn it up. Oh my gosh, like what is going on here? Is this like this looks like a full-on riot. This is not protesting. There's that tear gas. If you're stopping the government from functioning, this is not the way to do it. The way to do it is change the laws. And then literally this is ridiculous, and all they're trying to do is hinder the federal government from doing its job. But here's the thing, I don't think they have support from the Republicans to just get rid of the border. In fact, I don't think they have support from 95% of the country. But what they do is they make an emotional argument and then get people there, and then all of a sudden there starts being riots, aggression, and violence. Let's continue. I got another one here. Come on. Watch this guy in the blue here, like, I think it's sadist, where you like pain. I'm gonna go ahead and say this guy's a sadist. Also, what they're doing, guys, is they're pushing ICE or the federal government so far that they get their butt kicked by them, and then they go around and get on social media and the media and saying, look, they're authoritarian, look what they did to me. Now watch this guy in the blue. This is like definitional lefty right here. Not the normal lefty. I'm saying way on the spectrum communism. Dude. Look at that guy. It's like, I'm gonna lift up my shirt so I can get shot so I can go put it on social media. I bet they won't show this video though. When I bet they'll just show a picture of him shot. Come on. Crazy, man. Okay. Whoa. Not that loud. Come back.
Darius Johnson has been up. Agents are taking someone into the facility. That is a second protester. Let's check in with Darius Johnson, who's been on the ground there all morning long. Darius, what can you tell us about how this...
This is not protesting, guys. This is a controlled riot. If they're protesting, why are these guys wearing riot gear?
Hey Lou, get the shot inside of the facility. They have someone on the ground. If you're able to see that person, they're closing the gate right now. There's a person on the ground being held on the ground by those ICE agents. And look, if you pan over right now, Lou, let's see right here with the vehicle. They are plowing through these They are plowing through the protesters right here at this vehicle. They've tried to deploy everything that they could as these protesters were trying to block agents from moving.
Look at all of the tear gas. Look at all this tear gas. Why are these people here? You know, like, it's that ridiculous. They gotta have a camera and sit there and go and push people till they get their butt kicked, and then they go put it on social media. I'm tired of this. I don't know about you guys, but we don't need this type of extremist element in our country. What the heck is that flag? All right.
Have another man. They are just deploying anything that they can to try to get the protesters out of the way. Dana, give me 1 second as I put my...
Yeah, they're just trying to do their job and enforce the law. Quit it. Okay. Another challenge, optics. Some protesters escalate, and not necessarily into violence, but into aggression. The confrontations that alienate moderate voters. Remember when activists chase senators into the elevator or disrupted private events? Those moments make headlines, but they often reinforce the image of the left as loud, but not always focused. That's a great statement right there. Like, this is a blunt, we don't want you to do that. You know, it's not going to accomplish anything. Like, I don't understand how these people go out every day, feel the hate. Here's the constructive suggestion. Protests, yes, but pair that with town halls, with proposals, with real engagement. Yelling into a microphone isn't a strategy, it's step one. So the lefties are stuck on step one, pretty much. And that's a good point. I think they would actually get a lot further politically if they actually, you know, protest and stayed on the sidewalk and stayed peaceful. But none of the protest stuff I've seen from the left has been peaceful. It's all violence. It's all propaganda. It's insane. And to be honest with you guys, progressive means to me they are progressing towards communism if they're not already there. And communists and violence go hand in hand. They freaking shake hands. Communist is violence. Identity politics comes from communism, if you don't know this. And literally you create a class of people that you can oppress. And that's what they're trying to do to white people, essentially, and men especially. And I mean, they've pretty much been doing that for 4 years already. But identity politics is communism. And you know, like, we had someone that would go debate these people, but they shot him in the neck. So I don't know what else to say about that. Like, how can you debate these people?
The majority proceeded with
when they're coming to attack you, and they're being violent towards people. Like, it gets their cause nowhere, and they're trying to use fear to you know, silence people pretty much. That, like, literally whatever they say that the conservatives are doing, you know, they're Nazis and they're oppressing people, yada yada, they're authoritarian. That's what they are. And I've got a video right at the very end that will kind of hit that on the head. But anyways, let's listen to Brainless AOC here. That's about as nice as I can talk about her, to be honest with you, because she is dumb as a box of rocks.
The majority proceeded with a resolution that brings great pain to the millions of Americans who...
Like, comment, and subscribe. How about this? How about in the comments, somebody let me know what the Democrats or lefties could be doing better to actually get their point across and reach across the aisle and actually get something done versus trying to get people, you know, yeah. What do you think I'm gonna say? Trying to get them take their free speech away by whatever means necessary.
Endured segregation, Jim Crow, and the legacy of bigotry today.
So again, maybe 55 years ago, what she's saying could actually have some merit, but that was 55 years ago. The civil rights movement was almost 55 years ago, right? So, like, what oppression are these people experiencing nowadays? Like, I don't see any. In fact, I think they have more opportunities than I do. And once you make laws that favor races, that is a racist law by definition, because you are, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not helping other people. You're like, race should have nothing to do with it. It should have everything to do with what you do, your actions, how hard you work. Again, let's go.
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake.
So she's taking them out of context. And what she is talking about, so Charlie Kirk mentioned that before the Civil Rights Movement, there was Black-owned businesses. And literally after the Civil Rights Movement, the Black community actually was doing worse and was poorer. And so a lot of people agree with what Charlie Kirk said, and it's not what she's saying he said. He just said there were some people that literally they were doing better before the Civil Rights Movement. But let's continue.
Who, after the violent attack on Paul Pelosi, claimed that, quote, some amazing patriot, unquote, should bail out his brutal assailant, and accused Jews of controlling, quote, not just the colleges, it's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it, unquote. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated.
Oh, it's always the education question. You know, there's a lot of people that go to college that are very uneducated, and yes, there can be book smarts, but there is common sense and real life stuff, and all of you realize that. And Charlie Kirk had that stuff. Like, he didn't need to go to college to learn about things, because he traveled the world. You know, he went to Israel, he went to a lot of places. South Korea, he just recently came back from there, and I think that's why he's getting such a following from there. But anyways, like, to say he's uneducated is very, very messed up. Miss AOC here came from a upper class family. She grew up in a complete Republican area, and she has a lot of money and had every advantage pretty much handed to her. And anyways, she just, I don't know why, she just rubs me the wrong way. I could make a video on her later.
And sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans, far from the working, quote, working tirelessly, unquote, asserted by the majority in this resolution.
She has nothing to do with the working class people. She has literally every advantage. Okay, so this is a vigil. You know, I don't know why people feel so, what's the word? So that they have to go to somewhere and, like, it's almost like a vigil. Why do you feel you have to go to one of these vigils and try and harass people that Charlie Kirk got shot? Like, come on. Like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is violence. This is freaking the C word again. But communism. I can't tell if this is a girl or a guy. Yeah, that haircut, it kind of looks like a girl. Look, I don't know why these people feel like they need to show up and do this type of stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. Oh, yes. So, Jimmy Kimmel has recently lost his job, and, well, anyways, so there's a bunch of people, when Carl Tucker lost his job at Fox, they said, you know, if you say the most disgusting stuff and wretched stuff on TV, eventually people are going to get sick of you, and you're going to lose your show. And then, like, they'll show another clip of them talking about Jimmy Kimmel, and they're like, Trump fired him, yada yada. Trump did not fire him. Trump cannot fire him. And it had everything to do with the show wasn't making money. They're in the negative. Like, so anyways, you got more people going to a protest, which is being funded. Like, honestly, there's a lot of left-leaning governments all around the world, and I'll give you my theory at the end of the video on that, but here we go.
Yeah.
Alright, had enough of that one. Dumb. Okay, next. Quit it.
Earlier this year, I joined your counterpart at the Department of Transportation, Sean Duffy, doing a compliance review.
So I want to talk a little bit about a California leftist government in California was supposed to make a high-speed rail go from like LA to San Francisco. And I mean, it was like forever ago. It's like 20 years ago or something. And anyways, so they've spent like $7 billion and not a single track has been laid. So the federal government came in and took the money, and now they're throwing a fit, of course, right?
Federal money the state has received, and the outcome was that the state has not complied with the terms of its billions of dollars in funding because it hasn't actually built anything. And so that federal funding has now been cut off, but a lot of us in California still have questions as to where all the money went. We're 17 years in to this project, and
17 years. Where did that money go? Probably not to a train.
Absolutely nothing has been built. Not a single bit of track has been laid.
I think there's a lot of corruption in California, like a lot. I mean, they are the top earning state in the United States. They could be their own freaking country, and yet they're in a deficit. Something's wrong there.
There are no stations, there are no passengers, and the plan initially was to have the whole thing, LA to San Francisco, done by 2020 at a cost of $33 billion. Yet here we are in 2025, nothing has been built, and according to the New York Times, the project won't even be completed this century, and the total cost is now estimated to be over $130 billion. So I just wanted to ask you, do you think this is something that bears scrutiny, or can you confirm whether there's any kind of investigation going on at the FBI?
The FBI certainly can't investigate incompetence, but the FBI certainly can investigate and does investigate waste, fraud, and abuse. And so if we have any information that indicates that that happened in this situation or anything else, we'll look at it.
Antifa has been marked a terrorist organization. Thank goodness. We don't need these people in our country, these left-wing lunatics, and Antifa is definitely one of those. No borders, no walls, no USA at all. Literally, that's what they're saying. These people hate America. They want to rip down our country and try and make it into something in their mind. And it's not. It's the country I grew up in, the country I want to keep the same, that I love my country. Like, I love my country. So this is on Jimmy Kimmel. And, ooh, here we go. Sorry, I threw in some random videos here. Go for it. Come on. The hell? Play. What's going on? Hold on a second, guys. Sorry about this. Why is it going so slow?
More on that later. The point is that Kimmel's comments went way... More on that later. The point is that Kimmel's comments went way too far for some television executives, not for me.
There we go.
More on that later. The point is that Kimmel's comments went way too far for some television executives, not for me, not for you, but for them. And they turned up the heat on Kimmel, the host, to calm down the rhetoric. More on that later. The point is that Kimmel's comments went way too far for some...
So in other words, this is Jimmy Kimmel's mouth's fault. Pretty much. I mean, you're on national TV. There are things you can and can't say. Doy. Alright. This is my favorite person in the world, Jasmine Crockett. This is a really, like, baffling statement that, like, if you steal stuff, you're not a criminal, but if you think like a criminal, you're a criminal. So pretty much I'm getting that she's saying if you're conservative, you're a criminal. But if not, you can steal anything you want and you're not a criminal. Like, it makes no sense. Here you go.
I understood what was kind of pushing them there. And so I do want people, just because someone has committed a crime, it doesn't make them a criminal. That is completely different. Being a criminal is more so about your mindset. Committing a crime can come for a lot of different reasons. I understood what was kind of...
That's just like baffling, right? Is anybody this dumb? Apparently this one is. Right there. I am so glad she's losing her seat. Okay, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. And also in the comments, I want your opinion if Gavin Newsom is on drugs. Here we go. Let's take a look.
I think it's critical. I think, and I look, at my own peril of entering into the political frame on this, I think at my own peril of entering into the political frame, at my own peril of entering into the political frame on this, at my own peril of entering into the political frame on this, at my own...
You guys say Gavin Newsom's on drugs? Look at that.
At my own peril of entering into the political frame on this, at my own peril of entering into the political frame on this, I think my party has not invested in as much energy as they should.
I'm going to go on a limb, say he's on drugs. Alright, we're almost there. Oh, my favoriteest person in the world. My biggest box of rocks. Alright, let's hear her. Oh, yeah, so she's going to make a comment about Tucker Carlson getting fired and how it's okay to deplatform people. So, and now she's saying the complete and utter opposite. She's saying, oh, you know, that's cancel culture, yada yada. Has nothing to do with what their actions are. But let's go ahead. Damn it. Quit it. Fuck. Alright, box of rocks, here we go. Come on. What the crap, computer? Sorry, guys. Let's just do this then. I guess she is... I don't know why that keeps happening. This is actually the second time I've made this video, so...
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. What I will say, though, is while I'm very glad that the person that was arguably responsible for some of the largest, driving some of the most amounts of death threats and violent threats, not just to my office, but to plenty of people across the country, I also kind of feel like I'm like waiting for the cutscene at the end of a Marvel movie after all the credits have rolled, and then you see like the villain's like hand reemerge out to grip over like the end of a building or something. But deplatforming works, and it is important, and there you go.
That is the dumbest answer I have ever heard. And now we are all dumber for hearing it. God rest your soul. Alright, so, I don't know, this is kind of a different topic, but let's finish off on the Democrats. There's also a messaging issue across the party. On one hand, you have a call for progressive policies like the Green New Deal. scam. Universal health care. Strangely enough, I actually wish we could do that one. Student loan forgiveness. On the other, moderate lefty are preaching increment changes. The result, confused messaging. Voters don't know if the party wants bold revolution or cautious reform. And in politics, mixed signals can be fatal. If lefties want a win over the skeptics, not just energize their base, they need an united front, one message, one voice, a clear path forward. I don't even feel like that they're trying to win right now. Like, honestly, I feel like they're just trying to get people killed. And maybe that's a little controversial, but I mean, when you call somebody Nazi over and over, and we hear it in the media, we hear it from politicians, and this is the death of democracy and all this crazy rhetoric. I mean, what did they expect to happen? This is what they've been going for, and they're not dumb. This is a psychological operation, if you ask me, and it's completely ridiculous. And I think the left side of the political spectrum needs to be reformed. You need to get rid of all the people, all the sponsors, and you need to start over fresh and all new people, and come up with a realistic policy like universal health care. Like, that's something we could debate. But all right, so this is, I don't know if you guys heard, there was that semi-accident where an Indian visa applicant was on a freeway, and he just decided to flip around, and where you're not supposed to flip around, and he ended up killing 3 people. Well, I feel like that's kind of why this policy is happening. But so for the H-1B visa applicants, like, I don't know if you ever gone to like a 7-Eleven and like all of them are Indian people, if you haven't noticed. Well, that is because of this visa here. So they have to pay $100,000 a year now for that, and this has been abused. So let me just let Trump tell you.
Follow up on the visa question. I think this may be the next thing that you're signing, but for the H-1B visa action that you're doing
It's going to be
today,
next. We'll talk about that.
you're very close to the technology
Yeah.
CEOs. Are they concerned about that?
I think they're going to be very happy. Everyone's going to be happy. And we're going to be able to keep people in our country that are going to be very productive people. And in many cases, these companies are going to pay a lot of money for that. And they're very happy about it. Okay, we'll talk about that next, Sarah. Okay. My friend, why don't you keep that, okay?
Thank you.
Done such a good job. Okay. It's phase 1. John, you happy? Pitch. Okay, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. President. One of the most abused visa systems in our current immigration system has been the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. This is supposed to allow highly skilled laborers who work in fields that Americans don't work in to come into the United States of America. What this proclamation will do is raise the fee that companies pay to sponsor H-1B applicants to $100,000. This will ensure that the people they're bringing in are actually very highly skilled and that they're not replaceable by American workers. So it'll protect American workers, but ensure that companies have a pathway to hire truly extraordinary people and bring them to the United States to work.
We need workers. We need workers. We need.
So, I don't know, let me know in the comment section how you guys feel about that. And before I go to my next tab, do you guys remember during COVID, we all got locked down, and pretty much the whole planet did that, and it really surprised me, honestly. And honestly, you know, the left wing, it projects, and it calls, you know, the conservative side Nazis, fascist, and literally I feel like they're doing that because they are Nazis. They are fascist, and they want to take away your speech. They want to take away, your freedom of speech, your guns, and like honestly, the way that I feel about guns is, it's just a tool. It's a very powerful tool, but like say, you can do almost more damage with a car than you can a firearm. So you're gonna make, in fact, more people die from car accidents than guns. So, I mean, are you going to make cars illegal, do background checks to get them? It's more about controlling the people that are have mental health problems. And we have a serious mental health problem here in the U.S. And, we really, really need to do something about it. And I hope that they will. But I on the left side, guys, did you notice like how during COVID, it's almost like there was one government, and I feel like there is a lot of influence coming from the left side, and I don't have any proof of this, but I feel like that's coming from China. And these policies and these identity politics, that comes from China. And China wants to be us. They want what we have. They want to be the center of the financial world. They want to be the backup currency. They want to be the military power and the richest country on the planet. Literally, and we have been ignoring this problem for a long time. They want the death of us. And so, with all this immigration, all this left-wing lunacy, I feel one day this will be connected to China. Maybe Russia's in there too. But I don't feel like this is natural. It's only happening in the West countries. And if you notice, it's everything. Like you go to UK, exact same things are happening there. Weird. You go to Australia, exact same things are happening there. Weird. So I don't know. Maybe you guys can let me know how you feel about that in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe while you're down there and like the video. Okay, so I want to kind of remind you guys what it is like when the Democrats are in control of the government, and hopefully until we can reform them, we keep them out of power. Otherwise there might be more of this. Here you go.
Look at this. They just keep coming.
Go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get inside! Get in the house!
Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in, get in! Get in!
Oh my god, that hurt. You good?
Are you okay?
Right on the fucking crotch.
Are you okay?
Let me ask you this, guys. Was that necessary for a virus? I think it was an excuse to put those policies in place. Guys, literally, they want to turn the entire world into a communist state. And this is all really scary stuff, and you see how extreme people are. So I don't know what we gotta do, but we're gonna have to do something at one point. And anyways, any of this stuff goes go in the comment section. Let me know how you feel, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and I will see you guys on the next one.